Hi and welcome to the third episode of the RGL CFMA training series. We're looking at pit entry, exits, corner cutting and all the bits and pieces on the Iberian full circuit reverse and the Iberian short circuit reverse for the GT3's minis. Obviously the rules here apply on this circuit regardless of the series, but this is in the lead up to those two rounds. So first up, this is one of the early turns, a straightforward corner cutting, making sure that the two left hand side tyres do not fall on the left hand side of the ripple strip, as you'll see here. So provided that your two left hand tyres actually go over top of the ripple strip, you'll be right. Okay, so entry is a real tricky one here because it sort of cuts into the racing line. So the idea here is to pull over to the right as early as possible, and you can see this line here, imaginary line is the guide. By the time you hit the shadow of the bridge, you should be starting to move over to the right hand side, and this way anybody that's still racing on track and not going to enter the pits can stay to the left as well. And as you'll see as we get closer, there's a very high chance of incident here because it does cross over the racing line. So the whole time, if you nominate that you're going to enter the pit early, you stick to the right, and the people driving along the racetrack need to stay on the left hand side. Okay, the pit exit for short circuit reverse is to hug this right hand side of the track as much as possible. At this point here, this is when cars will start to merge. At this point here, drivers must negotiate their track position, otherwise there will be collisions. And this is also another corner that will be monitored by stewards for corner cutting. Same deal, staying on the left hand side of the ripple strip with all four tyres. Anytime the two rights go straight over top, it will be a warning. Okay, with the GT3, so here's a prime example of corner cutting on this section of the track. This applies for the minis as well on the short circuit reverse. So this one here this car would receive a warning, and as mentioned in earlier episodes, drivers get 3 warnings, and then from then on you get penalties every time you cut the corner. And the next part is, now this is the other area, you must not cross this section here, otherwise it brings you too close to the people trying to make pit entry. As you can see, there's not enough room, so you must stay on the left hand side of that white V shape. So it will be a bit trickier, but that way we avoid incidents. So staying on the left hand side of the red line is the ideal place to be. So just from the top down, this is our other guide as far as the stewards go for adjudicating whether someone's pulled over early enough. If you're over on the right hand side by the time you reach this arc on the road, that will be deemed early enough. Anything beyond that will be test and go. And also to make sure that you are inside the white lines, making sure that your car does not go onto the grass section here as shown. Pit exit for the full circuit reverse is pretty straightforward, and what the stewards would like to see here is that cars do not merge back onto the track until just after the checkered image on the track there, as you can see. So at the end of the red lines, you start to merge, and that should keep the line that you merge on fairly shallow and not cutting in front of cars. In case there are two cars abreast, the cars on track will have a chance to negotiate the car that's actually exiting the pit. So, and just as a guide as to when you should pull over to the left hand side in readiness for turn 1, use this ripple strip over here as a guide. Ideally you'd be actually further over than this car here, but once you reach the end of that ripple strip, that should be your indication that you should be able to start moving across. Again, that way drivers have an understanding of when you might pull over to the left hand side. Okay, another corner to watch out for here. This is through tight chicane, making sure again that your tyres are on the left hand side of the ripple strips. 2 tyres on the right hand side or more will be considered corner cutting. That's it for this track, and we'll see you at the next episode.